Good morning, dear students. Today we are
Good
going
morning,
to
sir.
discuss on the topic income consumption curve or expansion path. So both are the same thing. So in the question paper, if you see whether it is income consumption curve or they may ask you explain about expansion path, you need to write the same answer only because both are same. So it is income consumption curve or expansion path. Um, okay, so this diagram is very familiar to you. This is a diagram which explains consumer equilibrium in ordinary utility analysis. So consumer's equilibrium is explained with the help of indifference curve and budget line. So let us uh, go back to our previous class, that is indifference curve analysis. Indifference curve. So indifference curve is a curve. This is the locus of different combinations of good y and good x, which gives the consumer the same level of satisfaction. So this is an indifference curve. In our previous class, what is an indifference curve? What are the various properties of indifference curve? Those things we have discussed. We also discussed how a consumer reaches equilibrium point where the indifference curve is tangent to budget line. Here in this diagram, uh, there are two goods, good Y and good X, and good Y is measured on Y axis and good X is measured on X axis. And we have four indifference curves. There are four indifference curves: IC1, IC2, IC3, and IC4. And these indifference curves, higher indifference curve IC2 and IC3 and IC4 represents higher level of satisfactions. Please do remember indifference map where there are higher indifference curve which gives the consumer higher level of satisfaction, and lower indifference curve shows or give the consumer the lower level of satisfaction. You are also familiar about the price line. Here in this diagram, the first price line is P1 L1. What is P1? P1 is if the consumer spent all his income, if the consumer spent all his income for the purchase of Y, then he can buy Y, good Y up to P1. So he will buy a zero quantity of X, but P1 quantity of Y. So that is P1 source. And if the consumer is not buying any quantity of Y, but he spend all his income on X, then the consumer will be able to buy L1 unit of good X. So if we connect these 2 points, P1, L1, so we get that budget line. So this is the budget line, P1, L1. So that shows that is his budget line. And imagine that uh, his income increases, right? Then he can buy more of good Y, that is P2, or more of good X, that is L2, or a combination of both good X and good Y. So as the income increases, the budget line also shift to right. That you have studied in our previous class, that as the income increases, the budget line shift to right. Now, what we can see is that at each income level, we have an equilibrium point. When the budget line is P1 L1, then at point Q1, I will zoom it so that it will be very easy for you. This Q1, uh, the the budget line is the indifference curve IC1 is tangent to budget line at Q1. So that is the equilibrium point. Okay. When the income increases to a higher level, so the budget line shift to P2, L2. So at that point, the corresponding equilibrium point is Q2, where IC2 indifference curve is tangent at this point. And it again happens when the income again increases to P3, L3, then it meets at a higher indifference curve. So the consumer moves to a higher equilibrium positions where he consumes more of both good and X. So when the consumer consumes more of good X and Y, then the consumer derives more satisfaction from those two goods. Okay. Now, important thing is that see, you could see different equilibrium points at different levels of income, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So if we connect all these points, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4, and draw a curve joining all these points, we get the income consumption curve. So this is known as the income consumption curve, or this is known as the expansion path. Expansion path. Now, hope that you are uh, uh, familiar to the concept expansion path or income consumption curve. The next concept that we are going to discuss is Giffen good. Giffen good. So I'll give an idea so that this will be very interesting for you. Just we have studied law of demand. But the law of demand says when price increases, quantity demand decreases. This is what we have studied in the law of demand. But think of a situation when price increases, quantity demand increases. So this is just opposite of what we have studied, right? So this particular phenomena was put forward in the attention of the general public by Sir Robert Giffen. So that's why this is known as Giffen goods, or sometimes this is referred as Giffen paradox. Paradox. So sometimes this is known as Giffen paradox. So let us see what is Giffen good. So this Giffen good is named after the Scottish journalist and statistician Sir Robert Giffen. So it's a good which does not appear to conform to the first rule of the demand. What is the first rule of demand? When price increases, quantity demand decreases. So what we could see is that that is the inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded. But in Giffen goods, what happened is that see the people actually demand more when the price rises. Okay, when price rises of given good, then what happens is that the quantity demanded also increases. So this is known as paradoxical. So just opposite of what we have studied. So okay, let us see why this Sir Robert Giffen gives such a paradox with the help of an example. Okay, take this example. This is bread and meat. Okay, bread and meat. And imagine that the consumer, uh, he's very poor and he's having a very less income, and there is no close substitute for bread. There is no close substitute for bread. So he has to allocate his income in such a way that he buys both bread and meat for consumption. And this meat is expensive. The meat is expensive, but the bread is relatively cheap. So that is cheap in price. So the price is less. Okay, so he buys both a combination of bread and meat. You can also assume that this is a very poor consumer, so he is having less income. Out of that, he is buying both bread and this bread has no close substitutes. That's what you should be um, reminded of. And what happens when the prices of bread increases? So price of the bread increases. Uh, and now what happens is that the price of meat remains the same. It is constant. But compared to bread, the price of meat is higher, bit higher. So when the price of the bread increases, uh, uh, he has to consume bread. There is no close substitute. So out of his meager income, he has to spend more of his income on bread to purchase the previous quantity of bread he was consuming. Now the additional income that he has for the purchase of meat has come down. So the income left for the purchase of meat has come down, and with that income, he may not be able to buy meat. So, in order to compensate the reduction in the purchase of meat, or in order to compensate the lost calorie from meat, the consumer buys more of bread with the remaining income. This shows that when the prices of bread increases, he stopped buying meat, and with the remaining income left, because he has got some income left because now he's not buying meat. So with that remaining income, he will try more bread, or he will buy more bread in order to meet the calorie requirements, because now he's not consuming meat. So he want to compensate, or he want to adjust that calorie lost, uh, because he's not buying meat. So to compensate that, he is buying more of bread. That's why when the price of bread increases, he buys more bread. So that is a paradox. Okay, so this can be explained with the help of a diagram. This can be explained with the help of a diagram. Um, on the There are two axes, y-axis and x-axis. So on the x-axis, we measure the quantity purchased of a particular commodity, the quantity purchased of a particular commodity, maybe bread. We can say that the bread, and the x y-axis shows the price of bread. So as the price goes up, as we have seen in our previous examples, the demand for bread, the quantity purchased of bread will also go up like a supply curve, right? It's an upward sloping. But see, when the price reaches to this point, um, what happened is that he has spent all his income. He has spent all his income for the purchase of the bread. Okay, and if again the prices of the bread goes up, then what happens is that he has to reduce the consumption. He has to reduce the consumption of, or the purchase of good X, because he has no income to purchase those, or to maintain the quantity he previously purchased. So we are discussing about the consumption pattern of a poor consumer, whereas the price of the good go up, he first buy more of that goods, then it reaches to a certain point. മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നു.